Today, I'm going to show you how to make a project management app within the Swiss Army knife that is Airtable. Finding the right project management app can be difficult. Sometimes they're either too specific to a niche, or they're too expensive, or they just don't have the right fit. So I decided to build my own. Step one, you need to know what your project is actually going to be that you want to track. In my case, pretty simple. I'm making videos as a part of my business. I've got a list of ideas, but right now they're all just living up in here, and that is dangerous. They're going to be gone in like 5 seconds. So I need a place where I can put them and then track the creation process. Enter Airtable. Airtable is the Swiss Army knife of no-code platforms. It is a spreadsheet on steroids. So let's go through it. Once you log in, you're going to create your first base. This is where you're going to create the app that you want to create. So let's go to create. I'm going to start from scratch. And then immediately the base is already created. You can see there's templates on the side, so it can pre-fill in a lot of the common stuff that you might be looking for. But in my particular case, again, we're going to start from scratch just for the benefit of this video. Here's where the magic is, and this is where the spreadsheet is. You got the rows here, and you got the columns. The columns are where the steroids are, because depending on the type of column that you choose, it's going to do something different with the information that you put into it. And that is where the magic happens. So if this is the first time that you're actually working with Airtable, play around with it. Depending on what you want to create, just create some different columns, delete some columns, whatever it might be, anything that you want to do, you just click on the drop down, and then you select the option that you want. Simple as that. Now that I've created the base for my video project tracker, let's fill it out a little bit. So this first table here is going to be where the list of videos actually lives. So let's start by naming it something like videos. Now, I'm going to work on the columns. So this is where you want to know the type of information you actually want to track in here, because that's going to let you know how many columns you need and what kind of columns you're going to need. So in my particular case, I've got just a few little bits of information about each video that I want to track. First and foremost is the name. Perfect already. The second is a basic description of just kind of what I'm thinking of, what the video is going to be about. So I'm going to rename this description and just leave it at that. Now the third one, I want to have an idea of how long I want the video to be. So I'm going to take this third column and I'm going to change it up a little bit. First, I'm going to call it length, and I'm going to change the column type. And that I'm going to use a duration, because this is going to allow me to track the minutes and the seconds that I intend for the video to be. Now finally is the status column, and most of this is perfect just the way it is, but I'm going to go in here and edit a couple of the options. So first, instead of to do, I'm going to put rejected. Just in case I have video ideas that I don't like, I'm not going to revisit them in the future. And then I'm going to add a new one. I'm just going to call it idea. And this is going to let me know that this is basically something that I've just thought about, but I haven't done anything with. And I'm going to move that up to the top, and I'm going to make it a default option. Because now, anytime I create a new video, right there, it's going to be in the column so I don't have to do anything else with that. So that's the basic bare bones version of my video project tracker. But we're not done yet. So let's go ahead and drop in that list of video ideas I already have. So from this sheet, I'm going to copy and paste and put it right into the name column. And you're going to see that it already creates all the rows with the idea status default already in, for the most part. And now I've got that bare bones list of videos, as well as the ability to track the progress as I create the ones that I want to create. But I don't want to use it for just this purpose. I also want to use Airtable to help me plan out some of the videos and what goes in them. So I'm going to create a new table for this. I can either go to add and just start from scratch, but there's a couple of columns I know that I can use in this new list that I've already created. So I'm going to go to videos, duplicate table. I'm going to leave duplicate records unchecked because this is going to tell it not to bring in the list of videos I have. And just duplicate table. Now, from here, I'm going to rename this segments. So this is going to be a list of the different sections in each video I want. So I can keep description and length as is. Each segment is going to have a basic description of what it's about, as well as an intended length. And I can almost keep status the same. But there's a couple of options that I want to remove. Idea doesn't apply. Rejected, I'm going to turn it back into to do, and then leave it as the default option. Now, there's also a couple of new columns I have to add. First and foremost, each segment needs to actually belong to a video. So if I create a new one here, just title it video, This is where the real magic of Airtable starts to show itself. If I choose link to another record, it's gonna let me actually pull from the list of videos I have here and just put it in. So check this out. If I create a new segment, I can now choose from the list of video ideas I have. I can search for different ideas and just select the one that I want. Now, the final column I'm going to add is just a basic label column. What is the segment type, basically? And I want it to appear as the second column. So I'm gonna go to description and just insert left. Call it type and choose single select. This is gonna give me a list of options that I can choose from. Part 2, part 3, you get the idea. Now, the final step I need to take is a little change to the name column here. Within Airtable, your very first column should be unique as you go down the list. You shouldn't have any duplicates. And to make that easy for myself, I'm going to use a formula. So if I choose a formula type, I'm going to tell it to pull in some information from the other columns of each row to create the name. So I'm going to tell it, bring in the video. I'm going to add a little bit of space just for readability. And then I'm going to tell it to bring in the name of the type. And once I do that, you're going to see, if I choose intro here, for example, I now have a unique name. If I create a new segment, let's say this is part 1 of the same video, boom, I've got a unique name there as well. And that's it. Segment list done. So that's the basic process that I've used to create my video project tracker and I guess planner. Now, when you're creating your own project management app, it's gonna look different than this. You might have different tables, different columns, whatever. So the best advice I can give is just to embrace the playground that Airtable creates. Again, you can create and delete tables and columns as much as you want. Scale it up, scale it down, play around with it, see what works, and just keep making changes until you find something that actually works for you in the moment that you're working with. So, good luck, have fun.